What's up, everybody? J Heat Sports Media coming at y'all again with that fire as always, spitting the hot topics and getting the sports conversation started. Y'all know what it is. Everybody saw the fight last night. Canelo ALVAREZ versus Dimitri Bivol. Let's talk about it. So, this wasn't Canelo Alvarez's first dance at 175. Those who saw him fight Sergey the Crusher Kovalev, he took it to him later in the rounds, but when he fought Kovalev, I would say in the beginning of the fight, Kovalev was sticking to his jab. He was trying to box Canelo and trying to pretty much outclass him and wait for the knockout. He was being patient, but Canelo was able to take his jabs, eat his power, which was surprising to some, but Canelo got a serious chin. We should know that from the Triple G fights. He's proven that putting him down is definitely a tough task. So he was able to walk through Kovalev's power, especially as the fight wore on, and then eventually his power started to hurt Kovalev, and he put him to sleep. Now, on the scorecards, some people would have thought Kovalev was winning. There was a little bit of home cooking there, so depending on which judge scorecard you looked at, that wasn't the case. But if you saw it, if you was judging it with your own eyes, Kovalev was doing all right till he got put to sleep. But it was a brutal knockout, no doubt a win for Canelo. So a little bit of a history lesson. For those who don't remember, after the Kovalev fight, people thought Canelo was possibly ducking the two best 175-pound fighters in the world in Dimitri Bivol and Arthur Beterbiev, excuse me. And people wanted to see those fights and see what he could do there, but he went in an impressive fashion, went undisputed at 168, being Canelo. After he did that, combined with his performance against Kovalev, for obvious reasons, he was favored going into this fight. But people still in the know who know boxing was saying this could be a tough fight for him, and Bivol was a true champ at 175. Now, Bivol said he saw the Kovalev fight, and his game plan, he thought Kovalev had a good game plan and just didn't capitalize on it correctly. Said he was going to stick to the same game plan, which was using his height and his reach to keep Canelo away and outbox him, but just not get knocked out this time, have better defense. And he did exactly that. He kept Canelo away, used his reach and a stiff jab that really made it tough for Canelo, if you go and watch the fight, for him to be able to get around it. He tried to use his side-to-side motion and get around him, but Canelo's feet are a little bit slow. His head movement is fast, his hands are fast, but he was trying to swing for the fences, in my opinion, the entire fight, trying to lay powerful blows on Bivol's arms, head, body, wherever he could find an opening, and eventually started going for that uppercut with the intention of hurting him, trying to put him to sleep, not really boxing him. And Canelo, although he's a knockout artist too, he can box. So I think Canelo just had the wrong strategy really in this fight. Not to say if he went into it again, he'd definitely win, but it might have been a better fight if he wasn't swinging for the fences. The problem was Bivol was able to take his power. Bivol, once he knew that, let his hands fly a little bit more and stuck to the game plan. If you remember, there was a moment in the fight where Canelo tried to bait him because he was frustrated, told him to come on and get me on the ropes. Bivol shook his head, nah, come step out here with me in the middle of this ring and keep taking this boxing lesson. And that's sure what he did. And then after a while, he did exchange with him on the ropes because he knew that he could take his power. He took a few of those uppercuts flush, took a couple of them shots to his arm and kept jabbing with the arm, and he was able to take a few hooks. So Bivol was the better fighter, no doubt that day. He took it with pride, didn't brag about it. Even in the press conference said he doesn't consider himself the pound-for-pound king. He just was better than Canelo that day, and he understands with everything Canelo's accomplished and even what he currently is undisputed at 168. He gets why he was favored, and he gets why people would consider him pound-for-pound #1, but he just wasn't a better boxer than him on this day. And he'd be happy to rematch him, but it's going to have to be on different terms, which means he wants to get paid. Canelo got over 30 million, I think close to 40 million for that fight. Don't quite know what Bivol got, don't remember. It's probably a bigger paycheck than he's used to getting paid, but he's going to want a big time paycheck to fight him again. Otherwise, the smart move for him, Arthur Beterbiev is fighting to unify to get all three, or I should say the other 3 belts at 175. And if he does so, at the end of this year, you could get an undisputed bout between Bivol and Beterbiev, which at this point I think is what we need to see. Now, Canelo claims he's interested in the rematch. And for those that don't know, Canelo had a game plan for this year. His game plan, and the refs tried to help him with it, because if you saw the scorecards, for sure, we don't know what they was watching. They might have had them scorecards done ahead of time. According to the scorecards, the refs had to fight the first 4 rounds all to Canelo, the next 4 going to Bivol. Then they gave the 9th to Canelo and the last 3 to Bivol. Me personally, if you was watching it, I'd say, if I'm gonna be generous, I'd have gave Canelo 4 rounds, maybe 1 in the first 4 and maybe a couple in the middle, and that's not even 4. Now that I'm thinking about it, really maybe only about 3. And if you told me he only won 2, I wouldn't say you're tripping. But anyway, they had it 113, 115 in favor of Bivol, so the home cooking was a little bit definitely going on. That being said, Canelo says he's got the rematch clause. He's interested in the rematch, but his game plan was to beat Bivol, fight Triple G in September to keep his undisputed reign going at 168 and close out the chapter with Triple G, and then hopefully get Beterbiev at the end of the year for undisputed at 175. He wanted to be undisputed in 2 weight classes at the same time, and the sanctioning bodies was going to allow it to happen, it looks like. Now, Bivol is the monkey wrench in that game plan, and I think if he goes and looks at that film, sees how that fight went down, I personally think from what I've seen with Canelo's track record, not that he doesn't fight great fighters, he's smart and strategic in how he picks these guys. I'm expecting Canelo to go ahead and fight Triple G at 168 in September, close that chapter out, make that money, study Bivol a little bit more, probably let Bivol and Beterbiev settle it for undisputed at 175, and then maybe just fight the winner there. And then if that winner isn't Bivol, maybe he'll go look for Bivol after the fact if he was to go undisputed by beating, say, Beterbiev if he beat Bivol. But I don't see him fighting Bivol again right off the break. That's just me personally. I would like to see it, but I got a feeling that's not happening, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. All right, that's all the time I got. Y'all know what it is. J Heat Sports Media. Remember to like, subscribe, or hit the bell so we can go back and forth on YouTube. Remember, I'm on Instagram as well, at The Vault JMU414 on Twitter. And of course, what's up, TikTok? I'll holler at y'all next time.